What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Drew McIntyre roasting me, Vince McMahon in deeper trouble, Jordynne Grace is headed to WWE, fans have not forgiven Tessa Blanchard, the TNA Championship being destroyed is actually real, Mick Foley teases a Royal Rumble appearance, Sabu's last match, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on WrestleMania XL. And of course, before we get into the real news, we gotta address something. I got roasted by Drew McIntyre. As I tweeted, the TikTok ban lasted this long, pointing out Drew McIntyre's very quick World Heavyweight Championship win and loss. Then Drew roasted me back, saying, "You'd last even less in bed with a girl if you'd ever been with one, you raging virgin." Now, of course, if you're gonna meme Drew McIntyre, expect a roasting back. I mean, I thought it was funny. For as much of a cook as it was, well, I don't know about that, considering I have a wife and kids, but, you know, hey, if you found it funny, you found it funny. All I'm saying is no more Drew McIntyre memes for the time being. But now let's get into the real news. Is Vince McMahon in deeper trouble? Now, topping today's news is what some fans are describing as a new revelation concerning the various hush money payments made by Vince McMahon. McMahon recently settled with the SEC without admitting or denying the SEC's findings. Now, the SEC press release noted it settled with McMahon for signing two settlement agreements, one in 2019 and one in 2022, on behalf of himself and WWE, without disclosing the agreements to WWE's board of directors, legal department, accountants, financial reporting personnel, or auditor. Doing so circumvented WWE's system of internal accounting controls and caused material misstatements in WWE's 2018 and 2021 financial statements. Now, someone posted a portion of what appears to be the SEC filings, which mentioned McMahon settled with a former independent contractor, with a settlement being reached in 2019. According to the complaint, the contractor alleged, among other things, that in 2005, McMahon assaulted and derailed her career after she refused to engage in a sexual relationship with him. Now, while these are being treated as new allegations, you may actually recall the story broke back in 2022 when the Wall Street Journal broke the story about Vince's hush money payments. However, many have glazed over this story, putting more emphasis on the Janelle Grant lawsuit. Of course, we're not going to try and figure out who this was, but, you know, it happened. Next up, Jordynne Grace headed to WWE. Now, as TNA knockout sensation Jordynne Grace headed to WWE, there have been rumors of Grace jumping ship to WWE ever since she appeared at 2024's Women's Royal Rumble, and fans learned that her TNA contract was expiring in early 2025. And now Fightful Select and PW Insider are reporting that Grace is WWE bound. Sports Illustrated discussed these reports, commenting that the current belief is that Jordynne could appear as soon as 1st February's Royal Rumble. It's unknown whether WWE wants to have Grace work in NXT before jumping to the main roster, or intends to debut on the main roster. Given her experience and how WWE had a much less experienced Jade Cargill debut on the main roster, there is a case to be made that she's ready for the main roster. At the same time, she wouldn't be the first experienced wrestler to debut in NXT, with WWE feeling it's the best way to get attuned to the WWE style. WWE may also believe having Grace on NXT will give TNA fans another reason to tune into WWE's developmental brand now that the WWE TNA partnership has been confirmed. Wherever Grace works, she should be a great addition to WWE, as a 28-year-old grappler and award-winning powerlifter has been turning heads for years with her impressive look and in-ring talent. Next up, Tony Khan is done with her. Could former AEW Women's Champion Dr. Britt Baker be done with AEW? It's been some time since fans last saw her, and according to Pro Wrestling Torch's Wade Keller, that may be by design. They mentioned might be done with AEW. At least the feeling I'm getting from talking to people in AEW is Tony Khan might have her in the same category as some other wrestlers where they just don't get phone calls and don't get called in to show up. AEW has consistently pushed Baker, including a 10-month run as AEW Women's World Champion and a 2022 win in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Baker took time off to deal with back and hip injuries, missing months from the promotion, as Keller continued saying there's a lot of frustration with her, and I've heard this pretty consistently. She's wildly unpopular in the women's locker room. One person said no one ever wants to see her come back, speaking of the women's locker room. Now that is a bold, broad statement. I can imagine someone on the social media going, I'm a women's wrestler in AEW and I want her back. Okay, fair enough, but I'm just telling you somebody's perception is nobody wants her back. That's how bad it is. Somebody is willing to tell me that. Now, people have heard the saying, where there's smoke there's fire, and whilst it's not always true, there have been rumours for years of Baker having backstage heat in AEW for years. While there's no denying her talent, it appears that AEW may finally have said enough is enough. Keller noted the
Stop it. Get some help.
What? What the fuck? Damn!
not counting the MJF situation, where people just threw their hands up. It wasn't like a huge deal, but it was enough to sort of be the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of just feeling like, you know what, we've got a strong women's division now compared to when she was on top, and we don't need to deal with her if she's going to be this difficult to work with. AEW has improved in its women's division by adding talent such as Deonna Purrazzo and Mercedes Moné, and elevating existing talents like Julia Hart, Willow Nightingale, Jamie Hayter, and many more. Keller added that it's unknown what's next for Baker, other than that Tony is fed up enough that he's just going to focus his TV time on others. I don't know what that means in terms of a pay and a contract, and it's possible eventually things will change. At this point in asking around, you should not expect to see her back imminently. Next up, fans haven't forgiven Tessa Blanchard. It looks like TNA fans attending Sunday's Genesis pay-per-view weren't going to let bygones be bygones with controversial wrestler Tessa Blanchard. Blanchard has been accused of making racist remarks and bullying other wrestlers backstage, accusations that she has vehemently denied. Vice summarized some of the controversy surrounding Blanchard, saying Blanchard was once a huge part of the Knockouts division and showed great promise. She had several companies looking to scoop her up, but that quickly changed. After becoming the first woman to win the Impact World Championship, she was stripped of the championship and terminated of her contract. Miller mentioned the accusations of racism and bullying and noted Tessa's post-Impact career. This ruined her reputation inside the squared circle, and she's never been able to recover. In 2021, she re-signed with WOW Women of Wrestling for their relaunch. She was expected to be a big part of the brand. After falling out with the company, she bounced around to several other promotions before landing back in TNA late last year. Blanchard raised critics' eyebrows when she claimed that she wasn't signed to TNA, only for Fightful Select to report that she did indeed sign to the promotion. But the fans really weren't holding back last night, as in Texas they were chanting "She's a racist" and "F you Tessa." Now you can be sure that both TNA and WWE will be watching this situation closely. You may recall past rumors that some WWE executives were interested in bringing Blanchard to WWE, however TNA might decide to end its relationship with Blanchard if this continues, and WWE seems unlikely to bring in such a polarizing figure. Next up, TNA Championship destroyed for real. A current TNA Digital Media Champion PCO, best known to older fans as Jean-Pierre Lafitte, is the talk of the wrestling world right now after an appearance at Game Changer Wrestling's The People vs GCW event. A Fightful Select is reporting following his match, PCO pulled out his TNA Digital Media Championship. He proceeded to smash it with a sledgehammer, though it didn't break. Those we spoke to in GCW claimed that PCO went into business for himself. PCO grabbed the mic and started cutting a promo before ring announcer Emil Jade took the mic from him and GCW cut to a video. Now, with any alleged shoot in wrestling, some fans will be skeptical. However, Fightful explained that TNA sources expressed shock and that PCO made it sound like he was doing something that was part of a storyline at the next TNA tapings. Now, his TNA deal reportedly ended in 2024 and it was expected to finish up at TNA's San Antonio tapings. The current belief is that he is finished with the company. Next up, CM Punk attends TNA Genesis. Bodyslam.net's Corey reports that CM Punk attended last night's Genesis show, which will undoubtedly lead to speculation about whether Punk shows up for TNA on an on-air role. NoDQ.com is reporting that NXT Tag Team Champions Axiom and Nathan Frazier were seen at ringside during the Hardy successful TNA Tag Team Championship defense against the Rascals. NXT's Cora Jade also confronted TNA Knockouts champion Masha Slamovich after a title defense. We previously noted rumors that John Cena could appear in TNA during his 2025 retirement tour, a reminder that WWE and TNA's partnership deal could make for some exciting television on both NXT and TNA. Next up, Mick Foley teases a Royal Rumble appearance. As Mick Foley competing at this year's Royal Rumble, Foley teased this during a recent YouTube video where he updated his fans on his fantastic fitness journey. The Hall of Famer has made a big body transformation, as Mick told the fans he's dropped nearly 100 pounds, going from a hefty 377 pounds down to 279.9 pounds. Foley explained how serious his condition was. "I thought, I'm a heart attack waiting to happen." Foley explained how he lost the weight, saying, "I did it the old-fashioned way. It was really a three-step process: healthier eating, working out, and I'll admit I cheated a bit. A doctor suggested Wegovy after seeing me at over 370 pounds. I know some people see it as cheating, but I felt like it leveled the playing field. My strength was gone, my metabolism had tanked." Foley said that he incorporated DDP's yoga and swimming into his fitness routine and noted, "I'm not 21 anymore, but I feel good, really good." But what of Foley entering this year's Rumble? Wrestling News discussed how saying Foley recently participated in Ohio Valley Wrestling's Nightmare Rumble. This appearance, coupled with his dramatic weight loss, has fueled speculation about a possible WWE appearance. When asked directly about entering the Royal Rumble, Foley offered this response: "I wouldn't say I'm not entering the Royal Rumble." Foley also staged a phony phone call with someone claiming to be Triple H, asking if he wants to work this year's Big Battle Royal. Would you guys like to see Foley in the Rumble as a surprise entrant? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, Sabu's last match. Last but not least, it's the end of an era as Sabu will reportedly wrestle his last match this coming April. Cultaholic is reporting on how the match was set up, saying Joey Janela defeated Masato Tanaka at the People vs GCW from the Hammerstein Ballroom on Sunday night. Following the match, the lights went out and a career retrospective for Sabu aired before the ECW legend appeared behind Janela. Janela then challenged Sabu to face him at Joey Janela's Spring Break 9 in what will be